Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to the start of Fan Fridays for the week. We have a 6v6 single battle. I mean, look at this. We already have our NFE quota for the week. That is a Ferroseed lead. And just some weird stuff overall. We got Throw, Illuminion is in... Wait, Lunatone? Okay, so the team we are looking at right here is kind of weird. And then we have the Raikou leading off as well. So this is obviously like the most metagame standard lead matchup ever. It's obviously going to be very easy to know what's going to happen when you see Ferroseed and Raikou match up. Also, it is a classic setup Raikou with that Reflect, and then Ferroseed. What? Okay, so I don't remember seeing much Ferroseed, to be honest, and that is one of the most hilarious idle animations ever. It's just static. It's just sitting. It plants itself in the ground, and then it sits there. And then whenever it does anything, it shoots out spikes. That is wild. Okay, so that is going to be the curse setup into the Thunderbolt, but Thunderbolt will be resisted and does pretty much nothing. Wow! 10% chance paralyzed comes through, and that is going to be another curse on the Okay. What is up with this? Like, I'm trying to figure out the Ferroseed because it's tanky, or at least it should be once you get the Eviolite. If you're going to be setting up Curse, you should have the Ferrothorn because it does more damage when you actually get it going. And then that is a weird Raikou because as Light Screen Reflect into Thunderbolt Volt Switch as we go into the Drifblim now. So Drifblim could be a threat. That thing starts setting up like the Minimize or something. That could get scary. But more Curse for the Ferroseed. Ferroseed's just going to go in and take it right here. Attack, defense gains, and then Drifblim has the leftovers. Alright, so it came in on the Stealth Rocks, and now it's leftovering up. Wow, what are the odds of the Hex Drifblim, man? Hex Drifblim hitting extra damage because of paralysis. Also, Ferroseed setting up Curse so it has defense and not special defense, and then it gets seeded. So maybe, this actually brings up a good point. That Ferroseed is much tankier, I would imagine. I'm going to go look it up on Bulbapedia here really quick. So the Ferroseed. Alright, and let's go check out the Bulbapedia. Wow, that is taking more damage than it should. But we do have the Leech Seed coming in. Gyro Ball's damage. How much is it not going to do that? Is not a lot of damage. But so without leftovers, Ferrothorn has a really solid thing behind it. But Ferroseed, actually very tanky. Let me go and add a screen region here while I'm at it. And just kind of do some math right here. So that is Ferroseed's stats, and that is going to be a withdrawal on the Drifblim. So 91 and 86. We see some Pokemon don't even get close to 91 and 86 on their defenses. So the Eviolite's going to make that very tanky, but the hit points not that fantastic. And then the leftovers on a Ferrothorn. So let's see what we have on Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is going to bring us more hit points, more tankiness. But, like, again, Eviolite's 50%, so that's a lot right there. Yeah, after leftovers, I'm wondering which Pokemon actually comes out ahead. The Ferroseed is a nice touch, and wow, the Hippowdon coming in as a response ends up going for the Whirlwind, and then we have the Lunatone actually getting bounced out instead, but that would have gotten rid of the Curse. Who knows what just happened right there. But Ferroseed doesn't get to do as much work, and then Muck will switch out, because it doesn't want to deal with Hippowdon. And that's a Lunatone. Alright, so we have the Lunatone answer to the Hippowdon, guys. I don't even know what can happen. Oh, right. Reflect and Light Screen. So that's why the Gyro Ball didn't do a lot, but it was still underwhelming. Because Ferrothorn has 94 attack. That's a lot right there. And then that's going to be into the Dragalge, but Lunatone with the Ice Beam. Wow, that actually did a good amount of damage. Wait, Dragalge has a high amount of special defense and is usually assault vested. So that hit pretty well. And was that life? Wow. We have the Life Form offensive Lunatone with the Ice Beam. That is one strange switch right there. And the opponent doesn't want to know what to do, so he goes back into the Raikou. And Raikou is just going to take some free damage off of this. And that is going to be Stealth Rock's damage, also taking Sandstorm. So Lunatone's just fine in the sand. Gets the Psychic off as well. And hits pretty good. Wow, the Life Orb Lunatone putting in the work for sure. Sandstorm will subside. Volt Switch. So Raikou comes in, switches out, tries to tank it, goes Volt Switch to regain ground. And that's just going to be more free damage off of the Lunatone into Porkins. So, oh, never mind. Unless you get the wow, okay. Lunatone Went for the Calm Mind also, but Lunatone wants none of that, I would imagine, because Aqua Jet, yeah. Aqua Jet adaptability from the Crawdaunt will definitely be enough to KO Lunatone. So that is going to be a switch out, and we are going into the Ferroseed to deal with this Crawdaunt. Even then, I don't think it's going to work. Okay, Crabhammer will miss right there, and then another Crab. Wow. That is the luckiest. It's not even moving. How do you miss? How do you miss a Ferroseed? It doesn't even move. But that is going to be a curse, so it should have enough tankiness to be able to survive the Crawdaunt. And then there is a withdrawal. Crawdaunt's like, fine. Fine, you know. And here's what the leftovers. You know, there's no Protect I'm seeing right here. No leftovers. That could be a free Leech Seed, though. If Ferroseed gets that Leech Seed in there, it'll do just fine. And Paralysis. Oh, that 10% paralysis from earlier really coming back right now. And Ferroseed isn't going to deal with the Hippowdon, goes into the Lunatone, tries to squeeze in some kind of damage. That is going to be the Stealth Rocks, and a Slack Off, so free health on the Hippowdon. Not sure how to feel, because, like, yeah, you could have kept it on a Leech Seed, but then the Whirlwind would have made that kind of not really matter, but then the Leech Seed would be a thing, so going back into the Drifloon, or don't call it Floon, it's a Drifblim. But that means you are giving up the Drifblim to the Ice Beam to come back in on something. Well, I guess that means you just give up Drifblim, keep in the Hippowdon because it's actually kind of scaring things off. You go into the Crawdaunt, and then things are going to get pretty bad from there. So that is, oh, Cotton. Oh, Altaria. This is weird. All right, so how's this going to be dealt with? Lunatone switches out because Altaria is just going to outspeed, Mega Evolve. Might try to read on a Dragon Dance or something, but most likely going to be a Hyper Voice, and then that will be the damage. So Muck's going to be a really good response to the Altaria. Yeah, this is a really wild back and forth battle so far. So that's going to be Mega Altaria using the Hyper Voice. It will be resisted by the Muck, and Muck taking about a quarter of its health, not really too big of a hit. Sandstorm onto the Altaria, and then Muck with the Black Sludge will be able to heal off the Sandstorm damage. So not like, I don't know. Altaria doesn't really have much. It's going throughout the Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse with that stab damage, hitting Muck for more damage than the Hyper Voice after like pixelate boosting and craziness with there. But the Poison Jab respawns from the Muck, way too much damage, and the Altaria will go down. Didn't get a chance like Cotton Guard or anything. Sandstorm subsides, health for the Muck, and that is going to bring us to Porkins. So once again, Crawdaunt comes in, and Crawdaunt, yeah, it can set up into this Muck right now. So Muck will be the switch out, and we are going into Ferroseed. So Ferroseed, just a pretty standard response. And there's a, wow, what, Scarf? Scarf switcheroo, really? Okay, that is, wow, that's actually really good, because if the opponent's going for setup, yeah, you switcheroo them, they're stuck on their setup, you get free Dragon Dance, one Dragon Dance immediately makes up for the Scarf, also you get free attack. The adaptability is just wild damage, and then the Leech Seed comes off of the Ferroseed. Yeah, adaptability, Dragon Dance, even with the resist, I don't think it's going to be enough, even after the Leech Seed and stuff. So, I mean, here's where maybe Ferrothorn would be a little better of an option. You could protect, you get leftovers, you get Leech Seed. You'll get a lot of health back and lose very little tankiness. But Crabhammer missed again, and then Leech Seed comes through. It's at a good amount of hit points. We're going to see how much this resist goes. There's the Crabhammer, and that will be enough to take out the Ferroseed. Iron Barb's not going to buy too much else. Like, yeah, even if it survived, Crawdaunt is just looking at a really good position, and that is going to be the Lumineon. I don't know how this is going to work. Yeah, that's an outspeed into Night Slash, adaptability, stab, Dragon Dance. Lumineon doesn't even stand a chance. No hope for Focus Sash because of the Stealth Rocks from the Hippowdon earlier, and now we are going to go into the Throw. That's not Sock, that's Throw. And Throw going to eat that, yeah, outsped, Crabhammer, get dropped. I honestly don't think the crit mattered. Just Crawdaunt gets so much damage. Like, if it gets one or two, yeah, probably one or two just Dragon Dance, it outspeeds everything, and that just wins. Also, it's a really good revenge Pokemon. So Muck coming in with the Shadow Sneak, that's not going to do anything. It's resisted hit, not really enough to make it worry. No one's even staying on the field. Like, yeah, nothing is alive long enough for the Leech Seed. Like, Crawdaunt is seated, but it doesn't matter because it's just knocking them down. And then that's going to be Lunatone. So, Lunatone, Stealth Rocks damage, Life Orb, Night Slash. Yeah, just throwing out the Night Slash, because Crabhammer is obviously not doing it right now. Isn't it only like 90% accuracy? So it should have missed this much. But that is going to be it. And then we go into Jack Sparrow. So Swellow is the last hope right now. I mean, if it's Scarfed, it might have a chance. What? Okay. Scarf, Boomburst, Swellow. Making it work. Or it could it be Specs? Like, I'm wondering, because Crawdaunt is a slow Pokemon. So is Swellow fast enough after that to make it count? Either way, the Boomburst comes in. And is Swellow actually going to get the reverse sweep right now? Wait a second, because if that's Specs, that's a lot of damage to be dealing with right there. And then there's the Boomburst. Now, it has to be Scarf to outspeed a Raikou. Yeah, it's enough damage to take out the setup Raikou. Here we go. Yeah, the Thunderbolt wasn't enough. And then Popo. So Hippowdon comes in. I don't think... Wait, is Hippowdon going to work? Because if it has Stone Edge, yeah, then Stone Edge is going to be really bad. But if it's my Hippowdon is Stealth Rocks, Slack Off, Whirlwind, and then the Earthquake. So you got to have that stab and all that other coverage. So that is going to be the Boomburst, 50%. It's in 2-hit KO range, but the Slack Off from the Hippowdon, I don't think Hippowdon has it. I think he's just go... Yeah, or else you would throw out the Stone Edge and go for the win. So sand damage will add up, but I don't think it's going to be enough by any means. That is a Boomburst right there. Hippowdon taking the crit. Crit will not be enough to take it out. Slack Off comes in. And yeah, Hippowdon doesn't have an offensive move. It has the Earthquake. So that's not enough. I guess trying to stall out Boomburst. Does Boomburst only have 8? Boomburst. I cannot type at all. Boomburst, it's hitting, but it's not going to be enough. And it has 10 to 16 PP, so it won't be able to stall it out. Also, Hippowdon's losing health, so a couple more hits on that Boomburst, and it should be enough. Yeah, wow, the Swellow reverse sweep is real right now, guys. Oh, that looks like a low damage roll because it did about as much as the Slack Off did. Hippowdon might actually get... Nah, it's about the same. I was about to say, is it going to gain off of this? Doesn't look like it. Rocky Helmet on... Yeah, it's my set on the Hippowdon. Rocky Helmet and whatnot. But the flying Pokemon coming in, and as the last resort, not getting anything done. That is going to be the Earthquake. Yeah, he shows the Earthquake. Sandstorm subsides, and it looks like he's just going to give it up because the Slack Off stall, not worth it. And Hippowdon does go down. So there's like one more Pokemon left, and that... Wait, boom. Okay, yeah, there's one more Pokemon left. That is the Dragalge. Dragalge, even with high special defense, I don't know if it's Salt Vested, but that's going to be the Boomburst damage. Wow. It was enough to 2-shot, and it's... Yeah, so we have 2-shot on Hippowdon. We have a lot of cleanup damage. Okay, so this just kind of shows the power of the cleanup Pokemon. I think I've talked about, not exactly Swellow, but there's a lot of Pokemon out there. They do 60 to 70% of a lot of Pokemon, but Stealth Rocks has been up all battle. Everything was kind of low, you know. There was the Dragalge weakened from earlier. There was the Raikou and weakened from earlier. And Hippowdon didn't have it. So you can bring in a Pokemon like Swellow, high base damage, high Boomburst, and just clean up. Same with the Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt almost did the same thing, but the Swellow responded. And I don't know if that was confidence or a little bit of silliness out of Burned right here, because he could have just gone Swellow and then win it instead of having to give up all of his Pokemon and make it risky. I wonder if he had that much faith or not. But there we go, guys. Swellow reverse sweep for the win. We got some more Fan Fridays, and I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching.